I am
would
not aware of the context, so maybe someone can speak.
okay, so who would like to participate? Gagan, are you there?
Ma'am, to go. I would like to go
Hi,
next.
Hania. Okay, sure. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, I will. So, hi, my name is Hania Siraj and I'm from Delhi. Recently, I have just completed my graduation in BCom Honors and now I am preparing for my post graduation. And about my hobbies, I like to read novels to improve my communication skills and also to execute my theoretical knowledge into a practical world. All these are my hobbies, so that's it from my side.
Okay. So let's talk about languages. What language do you like most?
My mother tongue is Hindi, so I like Hindi most. But recently, when I start learning English, English is taking place my English is taking the place of my favorite language nowadays because I continuously learning English and I always try to find new words. So now I believe that English is more easy to speak. Like if you are more fluent, you can in fluency you can say you can express your feeling more easily. So recent time I'm more connected to English now. So currently the English is my favorite language.
Okay. Are there any other language that you can speak?
With this, I like obviously I can speak Hindi. With this, I can also speak Urdu some way and English only, not
Okay.
more than that.
Okay. So, would would you say you are good at speaking other languages?
Means what other languages? I didn't get it properly.
Like other than English or other than Hindi? You just need to explain it.
Other than Hindi and English, I can speak little bit Urdu. Means Urdu and Hindi is almost similar, but there are some different words, some words that I use in my language. Like those words are from Urdu. So I think Urdu. Most of the time, I do not properly speak Hindi, but Urdu, I use most of the words from Urdu language.
Okay. What do you do to improve your English?
When I was in my school time, I was not at all good in English. So from that time, I start learning, and it's a long journey. And I have done lots of things. Like I, first of all, the most important thing is communication. I used to communicate with my family members, and also I have joined lots of channel. For example, this Telegram, I have joined this, and there are lots of good I have joined. With this, I used to speak with my teachers, and so I believe that speaking is the most important thing that I used to do to improve my English. With this, I bought a novel. I randomly just pick up any novel and start reading this. I used to concentrate each and every line and see how they actually written all these things and how well they are using the vocabulary and idiom. So I write all these points in my new in a separate notebook and used to learn all these daily. So these all kinds of things are very important for me to improve my communication skill and to learn English very easily.
Okay. You spoke really very well, and in every answer you try to explain the answer. So that's a good thing in you. And one more thing I want to tell you that you should concentrate on grammar. Like you said, I continuously learning. So it could be I am continuously learning because it's a
Okay.
present
Continuous.
continuous tense. So yeah, sometimes happens slip of tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's happened, but the thing is that we should concentrate on those things. Then only it will be fruitful. Okay, so would you like to go for the part two?
Yeah, I would like to go. What is the part two?
Okay, so in part two, I'm going to give you a topic, and I
Hmm.
would like to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. And before you
Okay.
begin, you have 1 minute to think about
Okay.
whatever you want to say. Okay, so
Okay.
can I Can I tell you that? I
Yeah,
mean the
yeah,
cue card.
no topic.
Okay, so in
Yeah,
IELTS session, it's known as cue card.
yeah, yes,
Okay,
ma'am. Hmm.
okay. So the topic, the topic is an interesting neighbor. You need to describe an interesting neighbor of yours, and
Oh,
bullet points are how long you have known this neighbor and what
yes.
sort of person he or she is, how often you see him or her, and
Okay,
explain what kind of relationship you have with him or her. Are you getting?
okay.
You have one
Yes,
minute
ma'am.
for
Got it.
thinking.
Okay, ma'am.
After Hania, I will also speak.
Okay, now
Yeah.
mute
So
yourself,
now
please.
I am. Yeah, yeah, sure.
Hi, I'm audible here.
Y-
Hello.
yes, but some session is going on, so can you please mute yourself?
Okay, why not?
Okay. After that, you can talk. I mean, after Hania, then Gagan, then after Gagan, you can talk. Okay, so Hania, are you ready to give the
Yes,
answer?
ma'am, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you one thing. You need to give the answer of all the bullet point. Okay, don't forget to mention. Like the bullet points are how long
Hmm.
have you have known the neighbor and what sort of passion he or she, and how often you see him or her, and explain
Hmm.
the relationship between you both. Okay, time start now.
Okay. Okay. I believe that neighbors are the most important part of our life. It's a vital component of our life. And when I was child, 2, 3 years old, I used to go to my neighbor's house. It's something like my family. And as today where I am living, I live from my childhood. So my neighbors, I am very attached to my neighbors. So in neighbors, my there's one family. There are lots of neighbors are there. There are 2, 3 families are living, but there is one family which is very much close to me, and they have one son and one daughter. So I am very connected to her daughter because she is almost to my age, and we used to study themselves. We used to study with each other, and also the relationship which we share as she is my best friend, and we always talk to each other, and we always share different objects, different books. We do not purchase separate books. We generally use the same books, and these are most beautiful days I ever experienced. But recently we are just separate from each other, and they just shifted to some another place. So we now currently we are not often meet, but at the earliest point of time we generally live together and always spend time more. But now we are not often meet, the and always I always want to meet her and share my views, share my perception, because sometimes it happens that some people are really close to you, and you can share your points to only that person. So sometimes we connect ourselves in call, but that is not actually the feeling in call.
Okay,
So that
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because 2 minutes already over and you spoke really very well. So it's really nice. I mean, your speaking skills are good, but I think you are using a lot of time. So work on it. I mean, I'm not telling it's bad, but yeah, if you will practice more, then it will be more better. And try to use some fillers if you want. Okay, so
Okay, yes, ma'am.
you spoke really very well. And can we go to the part 3 now? I'll ask some
Yes,
question related to this topic only. This Q.
okay.
Okay, so the
Yes,
question is, do you think neighbors are important? Do you think neighbors are important?
yes, I generally believe that neighbors are very important. Neighborhood is really important, and it's a part of your family. So, and always you are sharing. You are not connected with blood, but it's a connection with heart. So neighbors are really important.
Okay, what are the qualities of a good neighbor?
I think a neighbor should be more connected with you. Sometimes I have seen that there are lots of people. The neighbors do not know what is happening in our house. So the neighbors should be more concerned, more connected with you. They should know what is the sad and the happy news. What is the thing which is going on in our house. So I think that the connection should be there and consistency should be there between the neighbors.
Okay, what are the some qualities of a good community?
The community, I believe that community is also very vital part, the component of our life, and the good community makes distinguish you that how good person you are, because a good community should be well mannered and well educated, because I have seen in a lot of places that the community are, if they are not well educated, they misbehave in the society, and that actually deteriorate the situation and all the environment of the society. They throw garbage anywhere, and this also deteriorate the condition of the society also. So I think society is an important part.
Okay, you spoke really very well. I appreciate it. Okay, thanks for your time. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
Gagan, are you there? Would you like to come up?
Can I speak this cue card?
No, for in it's time for part one. Then I will ask part two. Then you should. Okay, I will ask a different cue card, not this one. Okay, so would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So me from Gagan, and I recently completed my secondary education. So now I'm preparing the IELTS of 1 month ago. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, from Gagan, what do you mean by that?
What?
You said from Gagan, something like that. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was quite different. So okay, so let's talk about color and seasons. Okay, so what is your favorite color?
My favorite color is black because uh, most of the time it's suit on my personality, so that's why.
Okay, is there a color that you don't like?
Yes, definitely. Yellow color, that I don't like it because it's affect on my eyes, and it is so dark color, so that's why I don't like this color.
Okay, do colors have some symbolic meaning in your country?
What?
Do colors have some symbolic meaning in your country?
Yes, definitely. In this Indian flag there are three colors, that is orange, white.
Yeah. Okay, sorry for the interruption. I muted that guy. Okay, go on. Kagan, are you there? Do
So
colors
will
have some
anyone?
symbolic meaning in your country?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so in the Indian flag, the top band of the saffron color indicated the strength and courage of the country, and the while middle band indicates peace and truth with Dharma Chakra, and the last color is green, shows the fertility, growth, and auspicious of the land.
Okay. Do seasons represent symbolic messages in your country?
What?
Seasons.
No, I can't.
Okay, okay. Let me change the question. What kind of clothes do you feel
No,
most
no.
comfortable?
Carry on, but I don't listen to your question, so that's why.
Okay, so the question was, do seasons represent symbolic message in your country? Seasons means spring, winter,
No,
autumn.
there
Are you
are some
getting?
net, so I can't hear your voice in a proper way, so that's why.
Okay, so okay, so question was, do seasons represent symbolic messages in your country? Okay, I think he had some network issues. So who would like to come up next?
Hello.
Elysian.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so are you preparing for IELTS?
Yes, I am. Well, truly, I'm not preparing, but yeah, there is possibility after graduation. Who knows?
Okay, in future. Okay, yeah, it's really nice. So are you aware of all how many parts are there in IELTS speaking?
Parts in IELTS speaking.
Yeah.
No, I'm not aware of that.
Okay, so let me tell you there's three parts in IELTS speaking, and in part one of the test, I'm going to ask you some question about yourself, about your work, about your education. So simple questions, okay? So are you ready for that?
Yes.
Okay, so would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Elysian, and I'm 20 something years old. I have done graduation in computer science engineering from a private university, XXX, and I have expertise in cybersecurity, data science, and software development programs. So I think, yeah, I mean, that's my introduction.
Okay, okay. What do you usually do at weekends?
I try to live my life freely because throughout the week I have to perform activities related to my work or study. So in weekend I invest my time in self growth. I read self help books. I try to upgrade few extra skills so that I can utilize that further on. That's what I do.
Okay. How many hours per day do you usually sleep?
Averagely speaking, it's 7 hours per day.
Okay. How do you usually schedule your time?
Um, I schedule my time at the night time for the next day, and I try to stick to that and follow that throughout the day. Yeah, normally I have to make sure that my day starts with a boost of energy, so I do meditation, exercise, and give myself enough nutrition to keep me on for the rest of the day.
Okay, that's bring us to the end of part one. You spoke really very well. Your accent is also good. I appreciated it. Okay, so now it's time for part two. And in part two, I'm going to give you a topic and I would like to talk about it for 1 or 2 minutes. And
Mm-hmm.
before you begin, you have 1 minute to think about whatever you want to say, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the
Okay.
topic is describe a competition you would like to take part in. Describe a competition you would like to take part in. And the bullet points are what kind of competition it is. You should write it somewhere or try to because you need to speak about those questions, okay, in this 2 minutes. What would you do in this competition? Why does this
Mm-hmm.
competition interest you?
Mm-hmm.
Are
Sure.
you okay with this cue card or
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
okay? Okay, so describe a competition you would like to take part in. What kind of competition it is? What
Mm-hmm.
would you do?
Hello.
What would you do in this competition? Why does this competition interest you?
Yeah, okay, I got it.
I'm interested.
So,
Okay.
as I am a computer science engineering student, I seek for challenges in coding and programming, and finding out different websites where they organize
Hello.
different competitions.
Hey, hello.
Yeah, so where
Okay,
they
sorry for the
organize
interruption.
different competitions. When I joined, when I started my education, I got to know about HackerRank, and on that website, particular website, they organize competition, and which is being held weekly, and many thousands of students and professionals participate in that. That's a very highly competitive competition out there, which is held regularly, and there are lots of top rank uh, top rank engineers and developers who are there, and they all give great competition to the people. It is very closer to me because it is part of my field of interest and field of study. So I'm very curious to analyze what's my position among all those proficient coders, and I want to do really great in that competition particularly. And I have faith, and I believe that given all my self-realization regarding my um, competitive programming skills, I can crack it, and I can answer all those questions in that competition. And it's really fun. It's really fun to do coding and competitive programming. And as that website provide best level questions, and you have to complete that in a short time. So it's highly competitive and time restraining. So in that situation, I have to come up with the best possible solution oriented approach. So I'm really excited, and yeah, I'm really excited about participating in that competition. It's called coding competition on HackerRank.
Oh, okay, okay, you spoke really very well. It was amazing. So, okay, so let's go to part three. It's no
Mhm.
follow up question where going to I'm going to ask you the question which is related to this cue card only. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So the question is, what kinds of people are competitive?
Those people who are disciplined in their life and are committed to their work and consistent by the nature. Those people are highly competitive because every single day they achieve something, they get that dopamine, and they become addicted to gain success in whatever they are doing. So they're highly competitive by nature.
Okay. What kind of competition people like to take part in?
A kind of competition where they find interest in, they get motivation out of it after completion, and they feel like they're in a competition with lots of people with the similar interest in that field, and getting good position, satisfactory position, gives them like the meaning of participation.
Okay. What kinds of competition are popular in your hometown?
Um, well, I'm a university student, and it's a very big campus. So in this uh, the competition related to coding, hackathon, and at different popular websites, those things are pretty popular here. Lots of people are competitive, and they're participating in that regularly.
Okay. Why do you think there are many competition programs on TV today?
Because when we see how competition works, it's a highly thrilling event where people can watch and they can emotionally attach with different participants, and they would, like, when we get attached with someone, we try to emulate them in our best reality, and we try to give our all attention and wishes to them. So the emotional part of competition, where we get involved in the competition itself, by making those participants as our face, it's a really another psychological effect that we experience. That's why it's very popular in media and television, because people love it, they can relate with it, and they support it.
Okay, so that's the end of speaking test. You spoke really very well, Elysian. But one thing I want to mention here, like in since you belong to an university, so you mentioned those game only coding and all, but there's some competition like singing, dancing, painting, sports, quizzes, a lot are there, right? So try to explore, not uh, don't talk about your own field only, try to explore. That's the only one thing I want to tell you. Otherwise your speaking skills are really amazing.
Hmm. Thank you.
Okay, Elysian,
May
thanks
I?
for your time.